Hello everyone and welcome to my video. This is going to be my show and tell. I did do a video before, but it didn't really show the actual light of what the engine can do because I was using the emulator and it wasn't very good and doesn't really show the engine off and its capabilities. So as you can see in the bottom right hand corner, I've actually put a live feed here. This is all live, so there's no cheating in that, and we're going to be running on hardware because, as I said, it didn't really show the light of what's possible with the engine. So in this one I'm actually going to be showing a real sort of deep dive, so this is going to be a longer video than the other one, so we can really get into some of the stuff that we can create with Box 2D. I'm using Android Studio, as you can see, the new AXMOL engine, which is what I'm going to call it, AXMOL, I don't know. We'll get there. Someone can help me out on how to pronounce it. Fantastic. Now, from time to time, there might be a slight pause. It's because I live in central London and we have a lot of noisy motorcyclists and police and everything whizzing past the window and that. So if it does, I'll pause the video for a second and come back. So as I said, this is going to be a longer video because this is going to be a real sort of deep dive into what we can create and what we can do. It's not the full limits. There's still plenty more I can add in and stuff, but I haven't put the ideas in for that yet and haven't got around to it because I was still sort of porting some of the stuff over. But this will be a real good demonstration of what the engine can do because it's fantastic, it's brand new, and they fixed so much stuff in it. So let's crack on and let's start. So as you can see at the moment, I have just a simple joystick and that, and you'll also notice down here in the bottom corner of the engine here is just got the standard debug show and that, and you'll see that it shows just a number 1 here, and this is because of I'm using a custom tile map which I've written simply because of I take the tiles, because when we use tile map it creates all of these layers, and the more layers that you create it means that the buffer has to redraw. I don't know if it's true in the new engine whether they've solved that and it doesn't matter, but from what I know from experience of the old engine, if you keep redrawing, so if I have to, say if this was up to 20, I'd have to redraw that buffer 20 times in order to show one frame every 1/60th of a second or whatever it is. So I've got it custom made, that what it does is it takes the tiles and it we take the numbers from there and we actually get it from a sprite sheet, and I can show you that sprite sheet now. If I go in there, it's the content here, and it's this sprite sheet here which I created, and I'm using Texture Packer for that, which is a fantastic program, and I would suggest that you download a copy of it, have a look at it, and get a license for it if you want. There are other texture packers out there which are free, which you can use, which are fully compatible with the engine, but I've used Texture Packer for a while and I found it to be the best and the easiest. It's a really good product, and as you can see it actually cuts out all of this rubbish here and packs everything in so we can save memory and that. And as I said, we can now run on one layer instead of having lots and lots of layers and redrawing the thing. I've even had it where I even put my text in here as well into the texture packer, and then I actually call a BMI font, and again it all writes it out in one, and it's just so blazingly fast. But anyway, right, so let's crack on with that. Well, crack on with this. So we'll close that down. So here's the engine running. I'll just run it now. I'll click restart and you'll see that it's a hell of a lot quicker. So you can see how quick it actually starts up. It's blazingly fast, this engine. Yeah, really great for mobile apps and stuff. Right, so let's now get into the crux of it. As I said, this is going to be a much more deeper dive into what's possible. So I'm using Tile Map, or Tiled I think it's called, isn't it? Yeah, it's called Tiled, another freeware program. I've sent them money as well and supported them because it's a great little program for editing tile maps. And they're pretty good over there on the forums as well if you need any help. So let's explain what I've programmed in so far. So what I've programmed in for the tile, so we have just a basic tile map here. I think it's a non-representation of Joust, I think we've got here, if anybody knows about that game. Oh, they've got a motorbike. Yeah, sorry about that already. Yeah, so let's get back to it. So here's a regular layer, and we can create as many layers as we want, so we can have layers on layers on layers. And what I've programmed in here as well, as you can see, the basic sort of layer here in the layout is it doesn't have to be this sort of colour here. I can let's add another layer which is on top of this layer here, and if I take something like these, let's do this down here because it actually starts up down here. Let's just colour some of this in here, and what we'll do with this layer is I can now, they don't have to be white, but I always put a white square in there. I can always change the colour, so it doesn't have to be just a white square, but as I said, I'll put one in, and we'll change the alpha on it as well, or the opacity. So now this layer should be on top of this one here, and as you can see, it's slightly coloured it in a bit as well. I can also do it individually with the tiles as well, but I just thought I'd show the entire layer. So if I save that, let's make sure we save it, we'll go over to the engine. We should see that reflect in AXMOL Engine here. But there we go, we now have all these tiles, so I don't have to go around and create loads and loads of different colour tiles, and that I can actually colour them on the fly here. Yeah, and add its opacity and stuff. So very cool stuff there. One of the problems that you do have with Tile Map, it's not really a problem, it's just how tiles work. You've got to realise they're all on squares, but you can see that this one is squared with the other layer here. And if I wanted to say put some of these barrels in, and I wanted to make like a triangle, you can see I can't put one sort of halfway there, but I can on the other layer put one there, and then we can do the offset of the actual layer, which should now reflect in there. Let's kill that, and we'll delete these ones here. Yeah, it won't go away. So now you can see we can offset the layers as well, and now we should have a stack of barrels. Another motorcycle, as you can hear. I did warn you in the beginning. So yeah, there you go. You can see that we have a stack of barrels there now. So we can offset the layers, we can set opacities and stuff like that. So real nice for creating lots of tile layers and that. That's about it for the tiles. And as I said, I can do them individually as well if I just wanted to do that, what have you, but it's much easier to do with the physics layer, where you can actually move things into all sorts of different offsets and that. So what I'll do is I'll delete that layer there. We'll leave the barrels there, they're not doing any harm, are they? No, in fact we'll put the barrels in later on, so what I'll do is I'll remove them as well. Right, so here we have just a simple map. What we're going to do now is we're going to add some physics, and we do that on this layer here, the object layers. So anything that's an object layer is all physics. Not entirely true, because as I said, we can just put things in. So if I put this barrel here, and here, and here, and here, and I just run that, what this actually enables me to do is I can also scale things. So what we can do with the physics layer. Now what this does is this just puts it in as a regular sprite, but as you can see I can change sizes and stuff, which you can't do with tiles. Yeah, so now you can see that reflects in the engine that we now have a bigger barrel. and we can put barrels wherever we want now. So we can put it on top there. There we are. Let's run that and see there's a barrel on top of 3 barrels there. Yep, perfect. Look at that. So that's what we can do, and that's with the like images and stuff. Now what we want to do is we want to turn some of this stuff into physics, and how I actually do that is over here with the tile set. So anything that I set with physics on the tile set here is reflect here and scaled up as well. Scaled up, scaled down, whatever I want to do. So let's take that barrel. So we'll go into, sorry, a bit quick there. We'll click on this little spannery thing here, I think it is. So we're going to edit that tile set here, which brings up the tile set. And you see it's on the square there at the moment. So we're on the barrel. So we'll select the barrel, and what we'll do is we're going to use these physics here. Oh, I didn't explain the first physics here, because we need to create a map out of this, otherwise it's just going to fall through. So we're on the object layer. Sorry about that, getting ahead of myself. So we've got these various different shapes here. So we have like rectangles. So I'm going to make that a rectangle, make that a rectangle. Well, and that a rectangle, that a rectangle. There we are. Now we've drawn around there. So now we've got to do the rest of the map. So if it was a complex shape, what we're going to do is we're going to use Box 2D's another motorcycle, sorry, Box 2D's chain shape, and we can use that simply by clicking on this icon here, which allows us to create chain shapes or polygons. And I'll show you how that works. So I'm going to click the control here so it's nice and square, so we can go to there, to there, to there, to there, around here, around there, around here, and back up to here. Now I'm not going to go all the way up here because you can see it changes a little bit. I'm just going to stop it right there. Now that creates a chain shape. If I connect the points here, you can see it now becomes a polygon. Yeah, so that's how you create the 2 different shapes. You just don't make it closed at the last there. I could leave that right down here if I wanted. Box 2D picks it up and closes it for you. But that's what we want. So they're not exactly physics at the moment, but we're going to turn them into physics. So as I said, I've got all these properties over here which I programmed in through tiled, and we've got all of these things which just say, you know, body and blah 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 blah. Yeah, classes and stuff like that. So to give these actual physics now, all I need to do is change it to like any other setup in most things. It could be Unreal Engine, Creator, Unity, all that sort of stuff. We just change them to dynamic, kinematic or static. So this is going to be my map. So I've selected everything at the moment, and I'm just going to change to everything static. And when I do that, I get access to all of these properties, and these are all the properties that I just added in. They're just text, and you pick them up from the file, which just says, is it destroy all? Yes, then add destroy all. Takes a bit of time, but it's doable. Right, so I'm going to get rid of that one there, that polygon there. So now we should have the map aligned out on that. Doesn't do much at the moment, but we'll save that and we'll recompile it, and I should have the debug on. Let's have a look. So debug's on there, and I'll see if I've got the opacity turned down. Yes, I have, because it's 128. I've turned it down a bit because of I like to see my sprites behind the physics there. So now this should draw the actual map and give us some physics, and there should be a slight faint outline there. Now, why has that decided to break down? What have I done? Okay, I've broken it already. I've done something silly. Did I save it? What's going on there? Save that, rerun that. Come on. Have I got bugs already? hope not. Yeah, I have. What have I done there? Maybe I created the chain wrong. Let's just double check that. Oh dear, we got problems. Right, no, it's just being a bit finicky. Don't know why. It may, oh right, okay, maybe because I selected the lock because I'm using the editor here. So let's just select these. Maybe it's something to do with tiled. Tiled has just become a bit buggy recently. So I'm going to turn them all static. So everything here now should be all static. Normally I'm allowed to just select things, but maybe it wasn't happy and it writ something a bit dodgy into the TXML file. But let's run that now. So that should reflect on the screen, and you should see you can't see it too great, but there's like a slight green tinge here. Doesn't really show up too well when doing one pixel line, but believe me, it's there. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera because I've smalled it down, but maybe if I actually come to this bit here and I just put a polygon in here like that and change it to dynamic and save it. Here we are, so we should have a pink polygon in there. Let's run the engine. Here we are. So there we are, little polygon there. So yeah, so that's how I can edit the maps. I'll drag that up there and make sure that we're there, because we did trace around here. I'll run that again. Hopefully it should stop somewhere there. There we are. Pixel perfect. Awesome. Right. So that's how we trace our maps using the chain there. And as you can see, we can change it to, you know, different polygon shapes as well. So it's just depending on what you do. Now, if you draw it in the, because they've AXMOL's updated the Box 2D engine, which is fantastic as well, because of now, depending on the draw order that you do, if I actually draw it the other way, this is a problem with like platformers. Sometimes you need to jump through something in that. So if I draw it this way, it will allow me to go up, but it won't allow me to come down. If I draw it the other way, then it will allow me to go down but not up. So it solves some of the problems. If you're writing a platform and you need to jump through a level, you can just simply draw your chain the opposite way or line the opposite way, and it will allow it to go through one way, but it won't allow you to come back the other way. So it solves you know, platforming problems. Fantastic. Okay, so let's crack on with the demonstration. So let's have these barrels here. As you can see, they're not physics, they're just sprites at the moment. So we're going to turn them into physical objects and get them moving. So let's have this one here, this one here, and I'll put this one sort of here and this one here. Right, so how do we do that? So as I said, we'll go over to our edit the tiles and that, and I do all my physics editing in here. So if I click on here and add just a box around that and save it, in tiled you can see that there's this line that's going around. So let's put the physics in, but as I said, in my one I've done it that I want to just leave them as sprites at the moment until I decide to turn them into physics. So I can do that here. So if I turn these into dynamic physics now and save that, we should see that represented in the engine there. There we are. Now they're all physics, and you can see that there's little shadows around them from the debug. So all great. So that's how quick it is for me to edit and create physics on the fly. So it's extremely quick and easy now for me to create polygons. So now we're going to go into the deep dive bit of it, where what's actually possible, and I'll show you some of the stuff that I've programmed in that is possible with tile map and the new AXMOL engine and the new box 2D that they put in there. Create some quite fantastic stuff here. So let's crack on with that. So here, this is just a simple rectangle around there, but let's suppose we want a, oops, sorry, let me turn the clicky bit on so it doesn't do that. I've got a fast mouse scroll. So let's say what we want to do is we don't want to create it like that, we want to get a bit more accurate. So with the tile edit thing here, what we can do is we can create multiple parts. I put it on there that I can create multiple parts in one, so I can actually draw it like this and it will actually build it as one component, and then we've got something that's a little bit more accurate to what I've created here to some of the sprites. So there we are, so it's a little bit more sort of accurate than that. If I save that, and now you can see it kind of reflects on there that it's changed its shape and that. And we'll go back in there and we'll have the same thing but a little bit more accurate sort of things. There we go, and you can see that the physics are all sort of following it there as well, and again all lightning fast. And as you see, this draw level's gone up because I've got debug on, but when I switch that off, but we're still flying at a good 60 FPS and no lag, no nothing, you see. Fantastic, better than emulation. Right, okay, so what other sort of physics can we create with this? So for the sake of, because that would be more computation really to do that, so I'll put it back to a box, but then I'll show you a demonstration with it later on as well, what we're going to do. So let's have some balls here. We'll take are we taking the beach ball or the football, or are we taking the blue ball? Let's take the blue ball, and we're going to simply put some physics on there. So we're going to create some spheres now. Rectangles are easy. Let's see how it handles spheres. So put a sphere on there. We're going to go back to our map here, and we're going to click on there, and we're going to add the image here. Oh, and another thing that you can see as well is the scaling. It's not just the scale of the image, it's actually scaling the physics as well with the objects. I don't know if you noticed that. The objects actually scaled as, the physics scaled with the objects in that, which is quite a hard thing to do, but it's doable, as you can see. So let's small this down to, let's make it half size 32 by 32. We'll turn that into dynamic as well, which, as I said, gives us all access to that. And we'll put some of these balls in here, and we'll see how it performs. Save that. So we have simple spheres, simple rectangles, and as you can see, I can build multiple sort of rectangles on one thing. So that's it there. There we are. All nice and fast. Fantastic. Let's have a look at more sort of complex shapes. Let's have a look at this shape here. How we're going to create that. So let's see how we can create this and how the engine deals with that. So on here, I'm just going to use polygons. So we're going to map this out here. So bear with me, this could take a minute or two. I think you can see where this is going. So now we're going to build lots of multiple shapes to try and make a complex shape, because box 2D will only deal with box 2D has a problem with concave objects, so convex objects, so it can only deal with convex objects, not concave objects. So that means if I do that, that's a convex object. If I do that, it's concave. So what it will do is it will chop that off and put a line straight down there, and it can't handle those sort of things. But as you can see, we can create complex shapes out of other shapes. So that's what we're going to do now. So that's the sort of representation of it. And we're going to put a sphere in there as well. And we're going to make it roughly round about that sort of size. So now that's quite a complex shape, which we made out of different shapes. And as I said, this builds all of these shapes on one. So let's go and give that a test. Let's move these out of the way a bit, and we'll bring this in. I hope you're all enjoying this video, by the way. Right, so now let's zoom into that, and you can see that it's created all of these shapes, and again, with scaling. So now we're going to turn that into physics, and we're going to make this one kinematic. And what I'm going to do as well, because I get access to all of these that I've put in, I'm going to give it some angular velocity. So we're going to get angular velocity round to the right. Negative is minus, which is the way I've programmed mine. You can program however you want yours. I'm going to save that, and we'll drop a couple of these balls on it, I think. No, we'll put it under the balls. Let's move them out of the way a bit. Balls, bubbles, I don't know what they are. They're just a few random sprites I grabbed. But anyway, let's save that and let's see how well it does with that. That's quite a complex shape there that we've got. There we are, and it seems to handle it quite well. And you can see all the physics on there. And it's going around quite smoothly. Another nice 60 FPS, lightning fast. The engine is fantastic. Alright, so we can create that sort of complex object. So let's choose another sort of complex object, and another way that I can create it, we'll take this one here, is we can use the good old link thing here, box 2D chain link. And I can simply go and trace all of this out. I mean, this is quite a complex part as well. Now I'm drawing it from right to left, because as I said, if I draw it the other way around, what will happen is everything will fall on the inside. So drawing it this way round, left-handed, everything's physics on the outside, not the inside. Otherwise things will fall onto the inside and get stuck onto this part here. So they'll all be falling on the outside. So depending on the direction you draw it, as I said. So now we're going to bring that part into it, and that's quite a complex part there, drawn out of that. Now, chains can't interact with other chains, but they can interact with other physics. So you'll see that here. So let's see how that does. We'll change that into a kinematic as well, and we'll rotate that -1. No, let's give it a bit of fun and give it 2. So that's going to the left, this one's going to the right, and let's see how it handles that. Chucking everything at this today. And there we are. Oh, did I spin it the same way? I thought I said minus, didn't I? Did I change my mind there? I'm on that. That should be going right, and this should be. Oh, I put it at +2, -2. Sorry. The other way. The other way. We're going the other way. Right. Whew. And there we are, going the other way. So as you can see, we can create maps, all sorts of complex shapes and that, and had lots of physics very quickly on the fly. Can change things on the fly very, very quickly through the tile maps, and as you can see, the engine's handling it perfectly well. But that's not good enough. We need more. We want more. And we're going to give more. We're going to push it to the limits. So we can simply change things on the fly, as we said. And now we're going to push the boundaries. So let's say we have this shape here, because I have access to all of these and I've put them in. And let's say I don't actually want to rotate it from the center here. I actually want to rotate it from somewhere around about here. So I've also programmed in that we can offset the center. So if I give this plus, say, I don't know, 50 or 60, I don't know the size of that. Well, what is the size of that? What's half of that? Whatever the half of that is, but somewhere around about here, we'll rotate it about here. So we'll give it about, we'll give it, what's half of that? Somewhere around about there-ish. We'll do that. So this should now not rotate from the center here, it should rotate from somewhere about here. Now I did ask over on their forums, I was like, what is this thing for? I was like, why can't you save this? Because if you could save this, I could place this here. But they said no, they'd have to change the entire engine or something or other. And I'm like, okay, leave it, I'll put this in here where I can set the pivot myself. So let's set the pivot there for this thing. So let's test it. So it should be somewhere around about here-ish and that, and rotate off of the axis here and that, because I don't always want things to rotate from the center. That would be annoying. So let's chuck that at the engine and see how it does. And there we are. We can see it's where's its pivot? There it is. Its pivot's right there, so not too far from the edge. And we can see now it's rotating off its axis, and all the sprites and everything are in its correct place. Using a special little function from that, because I did ask to put it in, and it was my Mac 2 function, because of, unfortunately, in in the engine it runs from 0 to 0. It runs from 0 to 0. It runs from 0 to 1, sorry, for the actual edge. So 0.5 is the middle, 0 is the left hand side, and 1 is obviously right, and you need to convert that, otherwise it's going to be off axis, and I don't know what that is to box 2D, so I wrote a small function. And I did ask the admin, could you just add that in, because it's a really handy bleeding function. So it works it out for me that it places the sprite exactly where the box 2D needs to be. So that's rotation off of axis. So if I sped that up, I could make it boot things away and stuff. So what are we going to explore next? Because we want more. We're pushing the limits here now. We are really going to push this thing. So apart from offsetting and that, we also have other things here. I'll put the filtering in, so let's test our filtering. So let's take this ball here and take this ball here. In fact, let's take all of the balls and let's grab them all. And what we'll do here is we'll say everything, because we now come down to bit filtering and that, and we'll test the bit filtering and that on it. So we'll grab all of these balls. Now I'm hoping that it decides to do it all, because of, as I said, the new tile maps or new tile seems to be a little bit buggy, that sometimes it doesn't write it out properly. But we'll take all of the balls, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the group index, and what the group index does is, depending on if it's positive, which means things can connect to each other. You can mess around with the category bits to say this connects to that, but it doesn't connect to that, but it connects to this. But they have a group filtering. If you put it in the same group, sorry about that, another motorcycle. So yeah, in a positive situation, so I've put it into 1 at the moment, that means that they can all connect with each other. But if I put it into a negative situation, what that means is it's the negative. So it means if this touches this, or this touches this, or this touches any of the balls, they can't connect. But they can connect to these parts here. So they'll bounce off of this and this, but they won't be able to touch each other. So let's go and put that to the test in the engine. Did I put it in negative and save it? Because I would hate to look a fool again. No, I didn't. Or maybe I did and I clicked off of it. So let's make sure we've got all of them, and they're all in a negative group. So all of the balls shouldn't be able to touch each other, but they can interact with all the other physics. Right. Oh, did I save it? I don't want to be looking a fool again. Whoa, look at that. So they interact with all the other physics, but they just don't interact with each other. So very, 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 very cool stuff. Oh, that thing's grinding it up, isn't it? Oh, bang, bangity bang. Lovely. Oh, that's perfect. Thank you, Barrel. That just showed it in a perfect light. So you see that? So they are in a negative sort of thing. If you want to play with a bit masking and stuff, it's great. You know, if you want it to do certain things. So that's our filtering. So filtering is in on the system, and I have it built in as well that we have a quite sophisticated filtering system, because although I've got the filters over here, if I delete that and I take these two barrels over here, and I said I was going to show something a little special, because I might want to create some things that go through but not all of it, so some of it may be a sensor or something like that. So let's go into even deeper what we can do with the physics. So here was our box, which I've mashed up, and let's say now I want a box there. I want more physics here, and we'll go back to this representation. And now we have our physics back there. But what I can do in here is I can say that this and this don't interact, but this part will. And again, I can change that over to a dynamic, and hopefully this is going to work. And if I put these into a negative group, I've just selected these two. You can see it's turned a little bit sort of tingy pink. Yeah, but I've left the top one, so that should mean that this should go through its own object, but stop at this point here, so we can get more accurate with the thing. So this should sort of drop down into there. Hopefully, he says it should sort of stop like that, but we'll give it a test. I did program this in and test it out earlier on, and we're probably going to see it fail now. So, okay, so we shouldn't have any other filtering on there because it's done in the filter here that I wanted to use. But I can override it here where I can just put it into a negative and the whole lot will pass through, but we don't want all of it to pass through because we may need it for, oh, I don't know. So let's see how that handles in the engine. Nope, and it didn't. Oh my god, foul! What have I done? Oh, did I turn on? See, I had this in tiled before, and it's you have to do the things bit by bit, one at a time. If you do them, no, they're both in negative. Let me just turn that on to negative as well. It did work. Oh, best thing to do, what I'll do, oh, because I haven't told you that that can't touch that and that can't touch that. I haven't done the other filtering. Alright, what we'll do is we'll grab one of these balls here and I'll give that more of a representation. So if I put that into negative, hopefully this should sort of fall through, but hang on this last bit here. I forgot that I have to do the other thing as well in the thing there, so hopefully, oh, so as you can see it goes through the ball there, it touches the other physics, but what I need to do is I need to make that static. Let's make that static, so it should hang on the top of the ball here because of the last part here, so that we can really get quite sort of accurate stuff out of this. I turned the last bit on to fall through as well, didn't I? Sorry, it's all pink. My mistake, because I added it in a blind panic. Right, so let's set that back off. So now this one isn't. It should hang on to the ball, but the rest of it should go through. and there it is, and now it's hanging on there. So you've got the rest of the physics there. So it could be some sort of a sensor or something like that that you need. So I mean, now we're really sort of getting into some deep diving here for the physics and what's possible to create with it. So that's all working. Now let's do some other tests and that. Let's do some destroying of stuff, because you can see I've got like static and destroy and all that sort of stuff. So let's take this one here, for instance. I'll go back and I'll make all of these bugger all. I'll put it back to its original form, because one of the difficult things to do in Box 2D and most engines is working out, because when we look at the code here, it's working out what item touched what item and who touched it and who done what. Sounds a bit touchy to me. So as you can see here, when we actually get like on this at the end contact, let's do it on the begin contact. So on the begin contact, you can see here that we get the physical bodies, and it's A and B. And it's quite hard to work out whether B touched A or whether A touched B. And we don't know which one to destroy. But I've managed to solve that through just the numbering and that. So if you give them different numbers, you can say, hey, we're destroying that one, or we're destroying the other one. So let's see how it handles that. So what we're going to do is we're going to say when this one touches the ball here, the barrel gets destroyed. So let's destroy all the physics, or should we just make it static? We'll destroy it completely. So that means it destroys the sprite and the physics that's on the item. So let's save that and see how it does. And plus it has all the complex shapes on there as well. So let's see what happens there. Let's say we've got an error, or what's going on. My thing's just disconnected, is it? Okay, don't know why. Could be the lead. Right, there we go. So now it's disappeared, and it's still got the the physics on there. Whoops. You're supposed to turn that off. Oh, it's got filtering on. Let me remove it. It's supposed to be when it first touched here, and it was still touching the old bit there. Sorry about that. My fault, your mistake. Right, let's save that, we'll try it again. But as you can see, it destroyed everything as soon as it touched the ball. There we are, so that's that destroyed. So you can see we've got it worked out now. So let's say it's the opposite way round. We'll destroy the ball this time, and this time we won't destroy the barrel. So the barrel will destroy the ball, and the barrel will then pop up and continue on. So let's give that a test. Another test. Boop, there we are. So I can now tell which one's touched what and which one to destroy. Fantastic. Fantastic. And I've also got the other things here. So if I drop this barrel on here, let's say that I haven't added loads of things in, I've only just added a few things in. Let's change this from a spinning wheel to just a regular static wheel. When this one touches this, so we're going to save that, and we'll go over to there and run that. So now the wheel should be go static, sorry, not destroyed. So there we are. So now it will change that to static. Yeah, quite cool stuff. All right, let's go and mess around with some of the other stuff. Let's go and mess around with some of the more simpler things that you can do. Those were all in a negative, were they? Or not? Let me just make sure that they're not, so that they all re-interact with each other. So now let's give, say, this one here. Probably better if I use the ball here. Let's go over here and select, or select, there we are. Big steel ball bearing. Yeah, so put some physics on that, and we'll grab one of those in. Nice and simple. And he grabs the wrong one. Dummy. Right, so So let's put a nice big ball bearing in there now. Those are normally quite heavy. Get over here. And we'll change some of its characteristics as well. So all bearings, we'll change that into dynamic, and we'll put the density of it right high. Let's give it, I don't know, 40, that would do. So now this should change the density of it. So these are only 1 by default, and this is 40. So this should really mash these things up. And let's see how it handles the physics in that. Let's play with that. Boom. So the balls can barely move the thing, except for kinematic, because they're unlimited power. Oh, it's pushed it through the thing. But as you can see, we can also change the density as well. So let's grab them. In fact, let's move you right out of the way, and you'll see that everything should bounce off around this ball. The balls will still touching that, but it has more mass, so we can change mass on the fly. Oof! So it barely moves it, but all the rest of the balls will bounce around. Let's try something else. Let's get rid of that. Oops. Alright, well, we'll bring this one in then. And we'll change the restitution to 1, which should give us an infinite bouncing ball. Just make sure that it's not static, otherwise it won't be bouncing anywhere. Let's make it dynamic, and it has 1. So let's see now with its restitution. We'll throw that at it. And as you can see, we're changing all of this on the fly as well. Oh, what have I done now? I've changed it into destroy all when it touches this now. Right, foul. What have I done there? Right, let's restart that. And you say it's all starting up lightning fast. So there we are. Now we have a infinite sort of bouncing ball, which we can do. Awesome. Oh, is it going to touch it? If it touches it, oh, hold on. Oh. There we go. Right, so we have all of that in as well. A simple sensor, if we just wanted to make it a sensor, if it was part of something. We'll give that a test. We'll throw that at it as well. So it's just a sensor, and it's just gone through the floor. I don't know why I stopped it there. Why did I stop that? Boom. Right, so that's just falling forever now, but it will just be a sensor. Yeah, that's all working. Let's remove all of that. What have we got next? So now let's check out some of the other physics stuff as well. So let's take, let's just take this box here, and what we'll do is we'll put a rectangle around it. In fact, I think you can just do that and it puts it perfect for you. Right, so now we have this one here, and we'll check out some of the other properties we can do. So what we'll do is we'll stretch that out, bring that here, and we'll check out some of the frictions and stuff. So let's move this box here for a test, and what we'll do is we're going to change that into a static physics, this part here, and what we'll do is we'll change the friction of it down to 0. So that means when this barrel connects here, it should connect, and if I haven't got it in negative and that and messed around with its bits, no I haven't, and it should slide down here. In fact, let's take another one and see if we can make it slide twice. Somewhere up here, yeah. Alright, so that should be friction 0, and they're both static. Now they'll probably fall down and break. So let's now test our friction. Whee, hop. Hey, perfect. So 0 frictions that we can do now. Awesome stuff, real awesome stuff. Right. Let's go and mess with some more because we want more. It's not good enough. We want more. We always want more. Okay, so here we have a ball here, and it's in negative. Let's get rid of that because we don't want it disappearing or anything. Save it, and let's offset its mass because its mass is in the center at the moment. Let's try offsetting it to somewhere here. So the size of it is 32. So half of 32 is 16. So we'll offset its mass to negative 13, which should be at the bottom here. Which now, because it's a sphere, it should sort of rock and roll like a wibble wobble. Yeah, it's going back some, isn't it, eh? So let's now see if we can offset things and that. So we're doing this all on the fly and it's all live as you can see. Oops, what have I done there? What did I do wrong? Oh dear. Oh dear. Did I not save it or something? What have I done? Oh, let's try a little less because sometimes if you go out of bounds for the thing. Did I not put it at the correct thing? No, it's not wanting to do it. Let's try that one, 4 or 5, just in case I need to go in and change my engine a bit. But the mass should be working. No, I've broken the mass. I'll have to go and look at that. It was working. I don't know what's going on with it, or is it if I put a new one in? Sometimes, as I said, this thing decides it's going to do silly things. Oh, did I? Or maybe it's because I didn't make it dynamic and it's not happy with trying to set a mass that's static. That was the pivot. Where was we? We were doing the mass, weren't we? I may have to look into that then. I might, because if you set the mass outside, sometimes it crashes box 2D. But we'll give that a go and see if that's going to work for me. If not, I'll have to have a look at it. No, it's not. It's probably something the way that I pick it up. Okay, so that's something I've got to fix. That's a good test. Something I've got to fix there. I think we've just about done everything, haven't we? So far that's possible. Oh, no we haven't. We haven't tried out our rendering of animations. I'm going to put some animation in next. Let's just check that now runs and I haven't broken it and that. Okay, so now let's check out and do some animation here. I'm going over to our tile set again. And the way we create animation is we click this little camera icon up here, and then it allows you to select things and whack them in there, and then they get animated. So, but that's not good enough. We want animation and physics, okay? Because we're not dealing with just animation here, we want the best. So I'm going to put a nice thing around him like that. And then we're going to bring him on in. Get on in here. And we're going to have a nice little chicken that's going for a little slide. Once we're turning into a dynamic object. So the animation is working here. Let's throw that at the engine. Let's make sure we save it and throw that at the engine, and we should have physics and animation. Oh yeah. Here we go. All right, but we want more. It's not good enough. It's still not good enough. We want more. So that's all working fine. We'll also, now we come to the last part, which is probably the most hardest part really of working with Box 2D and that, and working with the engine, is alignment. So let's check out alignment and let's see how accurate the alignment is. So let's go over to this triangle part here, and we'll put some physics on that. And that's a nice little test for how close we can get with alignment. So we're going to grab one of these and put it in there, and we're going to turn it into a static object. We're going to see how well we can align things up. So this should be right tight in the corner, and what we'll do is we'll put that one there. Sorry, we need to make that static as well. I'm doing a good job of this, am I? So that's static. So the alignment's there. Now let's do a rotation. So now these two should be completely meeting. Let's we'll copy that, and we'll put that right in the corner there. So you can see where we're going with this. Now let's put it here. So you'll see that now, which is a hard thing, is alignment, which I had to write a function to do that because of sorry, there is differences between what we're putting on here and what's going into the engine. You have to realign things, and it's quite a nuisance. I'll show you the function. Bear with me a second. Cop car. Now it's the cops. If it's motorcycles, it's the cops. Right, so yeah, actual physical alignment of stuff when rotating and stuff. Now, the difference between Box 2D, Box 2D likes to rotate things from the center. However, TileMat likes to rotate things from the top left-hand corner. And it is a real flipping nuisance and a pain in the neck. But as you can see, we've got this thing here which is rotated. Let's rotate that a bit as well, because otherwise it's just too easy. Let's rotate that and put it right there. Oh no, let's put it right there. Can we get it any closer? Let's go down to the pixel scale. Right. So there we have 3 triangles. So let's see how the alignment is. Have we got this? And this is a good test, because rotating things is a real pain in the... And there we are. Absolutely pixel perfect. Fantastic. All right. So now we've got all of that. How much power have we got? Now this is just a A7, which I think I bought 3-4 years ago. I've had this or what have you. So I think the last test we're going to do is we're going to test the actual power of all of the physics and everything going on all at once, not in emulation. So how we're going to do that is I'm going to leave these spinning around and stuff, and we'll go for the rest of them, but that alignment is absolutely perfect, and I'll show you the function for that. Actually, it's quite a nasty little thing, as I said, because you have to write a bit of code for that bugger. Oh, it'll be in my physics, won't it? Okay, let's go up here, and if anybody wants it and that, give me a shout and I'll pass it out to you. Chains, more change. That's my threading, because I run it threaded sometimes. Oh, did I put it in here, or did I put it? Sorry, bear with me a second. I'll pause and show you the function. Here we are. Didn't take too long. Right, it's this one here, because you have to actually take the body, which does this alignment here. Because as I said, things rotate in different orientations between Box 2D and the translation of TileMat. God knows why TileMat has to rotate things from the top left-hand corner. I mean, it's a sphere. Surely you would rotate it from the centre. But anyway, you know, whatever floats their boat. It's their program. They're free to do what they want. So yeah, this is the function here. So as you see, we have to transform the thing into 0. Then we have to get all the offsets and blah 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 blah, and then finally we transform it back into where it is once we've done these calculations. And if anybody wants that, or if you want to chuck that in the engine or something to update tile map, that it has a position to rotate things, and as you can see, that's absolutely pixel perfect there. I wish I could zoom into that, but I can't. But anyway, let's get on with the last test and let's see what we can chuck at it. So here we have a physics ball, and I think the last test is before I do that, I better turn off the debug, because the debug will absolutely kill it. Let's just check that's gone off. Should be good. Yeah. Debug's off, and I didn't save it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to copy that, and we're going to absolutely plaster this thing with they're all dynamic, aren't they? Yep. Let's as I said, this is an old A7 from a few years ago, but let's see how it handles that amount of balls and sprites all at once with physics. No problem. 60 FPS all the way, one layer. Not good enough. We want more. Let's push the actual limits of this. We want more. We want more. Now I'm trying to sort of align it, because of sometimes Box 2D doesn't like it when you put two things on top of each other when they should be moving. So we've got quite a lot in there now. Oops. Alright, so let's see how the engine's going to hold up to this. I don't know how many balls we've got in there. We've got quite a lot. No problem. 60 FPS all the way. Look at all them contacts. We want more. We want more. We're pushing the limits. Oh, we're running out of space. Oops. I'll tell you what, let's try and make it that we can align some of these things that they're not too far apart. Because unfortunately when you cut and paste, it doesn't put it in the exact place where your mouse is, like with GIMP and stuff. So, right. Not enough, we want more. Alright, let's select all of those. Alright, now we really... C and B. Our last test that we're going to run here. And we are really asking it to do some stuff here. But let's see how she holds up. 60 FPS all the way. It's not good enough. We want more. This engine is just so powerful. Loving it. In fact, let's move these ones out the way over here. So I am sort of trying to not connect them together, because if you connect too many balls together, they overlap. When you start up, it does tend to upset Box 2D. So I'll take that one out and move it there. Take that one out and move it there. I mean, we've got quite a lot of objects going on there, but we want more. and this is really, really starting to, oh, come on. You know, we're really starting to push the boundary. Oh look, I've got loads of space over here. Look at this. Woo! Oh yeah. Oh no, wrong. Grab the wrong one. Oops. No. Oh, well, I can grab the old lot here then, isn't it? Fantastic. So let's drag them all out of there. Oh, did I move that part? Alright. Oh, let's get rid of it. I didn't want it anyway. Alright, so I've only got a small space here. It's not enough. Oh, I've grabbed all of the map as well. No. Let's put it back up. Will that be alright? It may not be. Maybe up. That's what's fantastic about this engine. So I don't know how many balls are in there at the moment, but that's an awful lot of collisions so far. But you know what? It's not good enough. We want more, just to be awkward. Right, we'll do that. And up a bit more. And how can I fit these in there-ish? Alright, so let's try that. I mean, that's quite a lot. We've got an awful lot of collisions going on. I think you're going to be very, very proud of this engine and what it can do. Final test. Boom. Now, I don't think that that's because of the collisions. That's because I've overlapped some of the things there. That's what happens with the engine if you overlap too many spheres. It's not that it can't handle it, because if I save that now, you'll see that I'll have no problem with that, and then I'll add more, you'll see that I'll have no problem with that either. Alright, so look, 60 FPS, I mean we've got millions in there. It's just the overlapping if you get caught out with it. Right, more. See, it will have no problem with this amount either. The engine, whatever you throw at it. I mean, we've got millions of collisions going on now. Oh no, we might be getting to its limits. Okay. Is it because I've just got too many sprites in there? Oh, we've crawled it down. Oh dear. Let's see if it's because we've got too many sprites on the screen. There's an awful lot chucked at that. Okay. Right. I think it might be at the limit there then. Or did I overlap some sprites there? Oh, it could be at the limit. There's an awful lot of physics going on at once. But just in case it is something to do with that, I'll grab these. This is quite a load and quite a test, so that's another load, but we'll just move them there. Because normally I can do millions. Yeah, no, it's not that. It's somewhere that I've put it up there that it's not handling that very well. So there's some sort of overlapping that I'm doing, as I said. Oh, it could be because that one was in there. Let's delete them. That's what it is. Those ones are overlapping. So as you can see, we can get more. Now I'm going to put even more in. Oh, look, I've overlapped here. Maybe that could be the problem. Okay. No. Oh, that's what's happening. There we are. Look, there's the problem. Oh, because I've overlapped all of those ones on there. It's not the engine. We can still do more. We keep going and keep going and keep going. That's going to be too much to sort out. I'm going to grab all of them like that, I think. And we'll control there. As I said, it's not very accurate with the placement with tiled here. It's not quite fixed, so it just shoves stuff wherever it sort of wants really, and then you've got to realign it. But I think you get the general idea. It's really not having any problems with this amount of sprites and collisions, but we'll give that a test. Hopefully I haven't got any more overlapping. It's just when they overlap, when they start, causes that. I've got more overlapping again. Where are they? Anyway, or is it something to, isn't anything to do with that one there, is it? Because if I've had absolutely millions and millions and millions and millions and millions, way more than this, and the engine's never had any problems. Alright, sorry, it's going on a bit now. This is just me mucking around. Yeah, you see, oh no, okay. Started off alright. Alright, so maybe we're sort of getting to the limit there, but I mean, we have got an awful lot going on. Just to really put that to the test, just in case it is that, I might have a neat little trick in my arsenal here, and that is because of I'm actually running it in a schedule update. But I do have another trick up my sleeve, because of I do believe we have more than one processor on here, and maybe if I'm clever enough, I can run threaded. So see how it runs in a thread, or whether it will run in a thread. So this is a threaded version of the loop. Let's see what's going on there, see how it handles that. I think I've probably got a couple overlapped or something, which is creating that, because I've had absolutely millions. Okay, so I'm now running that threaded instead of in the update loop, and well, we're getting 60 FPS, so maybe yeah, running it threaded is cool. So we're running it on another processor, and AXMOL Engine is running its own. See, we've got 60 FPS, and it's so many collisions there. It's not even anywhere near. So as I said, I'm running that in thread down. I've got thread started. It's quite easy to do. Let's see the thread. So somewhere down here I should have. Because I'm using my own update now because I want more control. So this is my thread here. So here we are, this is where it runs, and then I make it sleep every 20. Yeah, so if I wanted more, then I guess I could split some of it up as well, I guess. So here's the regular update loop, and here is my threaded version, which is just a thread which I start up there. And it really is a thread, it's not a, you've seen it. And I'll simply just call that, where is it? Start thread somewhere. Right. Oh, you can see the function there, but what did I call it? Yeah, start thread, that's it. And I'm just trying to figure out where I put the sucker. It's not in there. Did I just chuck it in the H and make it static? I might have made it a static thread. Yeah, okay, so there it is there. So it really is a truly threaded. So we just add a thread and detach. So I can run threaded as well if I want extra power. but I'm pretty much sure I've got a few things that are overlapping, which is causing that, because I have had absolutely millions and millions of collisions going on. Right, okay, so I guess that runs the test for the engine and that, and I think you can agree that it's doing quite well. And the guys at AXMOL Engine there have done a superb job. Don't really want to count them. Yeah, you see that I've got a couple of overlaps there and that. So that's the only sort of problem I think with Box 2D. If you overlap a couple when you start, once they're out the way of each other, I'm sure I've had even more than that. I've had billions and billions of collisions go on and not had a problem on the thing. But as you can see in threaded mode here, you know, there's absolutely no lag whatsoever. I'm still running at 60 frames a second. Yeah, it may look slow, but I've got the thread running slow. I've told it to sleep for 20 million seconds or what have you. But absolutely no problem, and the engine's still going. So there you go. So that's going to end my little show and tell. Put absolutely loads in there. There's still more to do. I haven't added buoyancy and stuff yet. I have added ropes and stuff, which I have to. That's put in manually at the moment, because I need to figure out how I'm going to do ropes and stuff like that. I think I'm just going to put it up here where you change it to a rope and then have the properties here, which will be done with a small box like that, and then I'll change it to a rope and it will get the length and what have you. But they are in there, and chains and bridges and stuff like that, they're already programmed in. I just need to figure out where I'm going to put it in here to call the routine, and then put them in. So right, that's going to end my demonstration. It's a much more in-depth look of what we can do with the engine, and as you can see, it's fantastic. It's extremely fast, so versatile, and so much you can do with it. Yeah, that's it, running my threaded one now. Still an awful lot of sprites on there as well. But as I said, it's not the engine lagging. That's me got my thread turned down now. I could turn the speed up of the thread to reflect it, so we can still do more. Right, anyway, right, thank you all very much. I'm sorry this is quite a long video, but I thought I'd do a more deep dive into the AXMOL engine and what it can do, and the new stuff that's in there. I hope you all enjoyed it, so I'm going to cut it there right now. And thanks for watching, and have a great weekend. So as I said, it is Friday night, and have a great weekend, guys, and I'll come up soon with some tutorials for everyone to program and use the new AXMOL engine, because as you can see, it's fantastic, and we've really been pushing the limits here and doing quite a lot of stuff with it so far, and there's still more to do. We just got to put it in. So yeah, all have a great weekend, and I'll see you all soon. And one more honourable mention: great work job, great great job, guys, great job, done real good. Thank you so much. The end.